Okay, let's get to it. So today we're going to learn about the different ways that you can deal with slow motion footage. So the first thing you're going to do is import some slow motion footage, and I have some right here, and you can see the frame rate is 120-ish frames per second, 119.88, whatever, you just round up, it's not a big deal. And so you're going to take this 120 frames a second clip, or if you have 60 or 24 or not 24 doesn't work with slow motion. I don't know what I'm talking about. 60, 120, 140, 240, up to however many frames a second you can be. Then you're gonna get it in a sequence, and you're gonna come over to sequence settings and change your time base to 24 frames per second. Click OK, and then change your time code. For some reason it switches to frames when you do that, but you're going to switch to that right there. And then one of the more common ways to do it is to right click and find the speed/duration. Boom. So you can reverse it, obviously, and then maintain audio pitch, and then ripple edit/shift trailing clips. So if you have multiple clips and you're changing the speed of your clip, it will move everything rather than overlap it and potentially ruin your project. So, I mean, this is 120 frames. So if you do the math, then you can do it at like 25%. Hit OK, and then look at that. You've got a nice slow motion clip. It's great. But if you don't know the math, especially when you get up to higher frame rates, may get difficult, and you may run into a problem of something where you put it at 10%. And now it's super choppy, framey, gross, nasty. Don't do that. But of course, there's another way you can do it, which is clicking on the little FX button right there, hit a little time remapping, click that speed button, and then you can zoom in and you get this line here, and you can move it up, and you can move it up. Oh wait, maybe zoom in. Wait, I didn't do that right. Just kidding. Nope, it's on speed. I did it right. I don't know what's going on anymore. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so you gotta add a keyframe. Figure it out. Don't worry about it. Okay, so you add a keyframe, and basically what this does is it allows you to time ramp. So that's like the transition period, and you can like mess with how smooth or whatever you want that to be, but then you can drop it down and you'll get a little percentage. So we can go down to 25. 27 is good enough. And then what we'll get here is we'll get slow down. Well, here, okay, let's make this a little shorter so it's more dramatic so we can see it and make sure that, yeah, okay, so that's at 100%. Okay, now, okay, super full speed. And then you know, it's still kind of framey even at the 27%. But maybe not, I don't know. Either way, that's how you speed ramp, more or less, and you can play with it, do multiple speed ramps per clip. Looks super cool. But again, you got to mess with those percentages, man. You don't know if it's going to work or be stuttery or not. So the absolute best way to do it is you come over into your, you got to come over to your project panel, select the clip that you want to change, and I think this might work with multiples. I don't know, could be wrong. I could probably import it and find out, but whatever. Anyways, right click on it, go up to modify, interpret footage, right? So you can use the frame rate from the file, obviously, that's awesome. But what if we wanted to do this? Assume this frame rate. Then you tell it what frame rate you want. Let's do 24.00. Okay, that's it. Done. Nailed it. And you don't really have to change any of this because it's not going to, I mean, you don't want to conform anything else. Of course, this is where if you had anamorphic lenses, right? If you know what those are, you might not, I don't know. But if you did have anamorphic lenses and you know what those are, this is where you would also switch it from squooshed to not squooshed. And then I guess if you want to change the field order, which I don't know, not super important. But yeah, so, and you can also change the VR properties, but that's like, I haven't played with VR footage. I don't know, that's over my head. Anyways, so assume this frame rate, 24 frames a second. Then we click OK. And then, because I didn't delete this keyframe, I'm going to make it easy on myself. Delete the clip, drag it back over, drag it back, there we go. Okay, drag it back over. Get rid of that space. Zoom on out, and then this whole thing, right? Boom, slow motion. It's not stuttery, it's not framey. You don't have to worry about percentages. And now you can only go up from here. So if you open up the speed and duration tab, which I believe the shortcut I just used is Control R or something like that, you can put it at like 1,000% speed. And then it'll put it at, okay, well, that's obviously too fast, but you know, you get it. You can put it back at its normal speed, what it was before it was slow motion. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. Then you've got your slow motion clip here. And then let's see here. I like this bit right here. So we're going to cut that right there. And then we're going to start it like that, right? Bear with me here. Then we're going to go back to speed and duration. Boom. Hit reverse. Drag that there. And then, well, okay, it doesn't really work because the sparks are going backwards. But, like, I don't know. It's still pretty cool. And if you're having issues with playback because of the slow motion and the speed changes, which Premiere doesn't like to play with, just hit enter on your keyboard and it'll render out your video files. And that way they should play smoother. I mean, it'll be smoother than, excuse me, it'll be smoother than what it is. So just wait for that to render out. And then look at that. It plays nice and smooth now. Of course, it looks funky, yet kind of cool. Maybe, you know, I don't know, it actually looks kind of cool, actually, because they kind of like come out. Anyways, whatever. So that's basically how you deal with speed, interpret the footage, and that way it's easier for you to deal with in terms of speed ramping and whatnot. So thanks for tuning in. If you have any questions, please comment and I'll answer them as best as I can. Other than that, subscribe, like, whatever, dude.